Continuing with our complex rational expressions from section R.7, this is part 7. Okay, so let's look at what we have here. We have 1 minus 1 over 1 minus 1 over 1 minus x. So before we can subtract this from 1, we need this to be a single fraction. It's not, because our denominator has an operation in it. So the first thing to do is this operation in the denominator. So this 1 is going to wait. 1 minus. The 1 in the numerator has to wait. And what has to happen here is subtraction. Now, what's the denominator when we have the number 1? It's just 1, right? Anytime you have an integer like 4 or 7, or even something like x minus 3, you can write it over 1. So that's like 1 over 1 minus 1 over 1 minus x. So what would be the common denominator of 1 and 1 minus x? Well, think about it. What would be the common denominator of 1 and 7? Right? It would be 7. So it is 1 minus x. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to write the number 1 as 1 minus x over 1 minus x. Multiply the top and bottom of 1 over 1 by 1 minus x over 1 minus x. And I still have this. Whoops. That should be just right there. Okay. Notice this is just 1. This is the 1 that we have right here. I just wrote it like that. Why did I do that? Because the denominators are the same now. So this 1 is still waiting. The 1 on the top is still waiting. What do I have in the bottom? I have a common denominator. I have 1 minus x minus 1 all over 1 minus x. So that's 1 minus 1 over, and now let's simplify that numerator. What's 1 minus 1, right? That goes away. So what do we just have negative x over 1 minus x. Okay, so now we're back to having a fraction over fraction. I mean, we could write this as 1 over 1 if we wanted to. So we have 1 minus, to do the division, you keep it, change it, and flip it, right? So that's 1 minus x over negative x. Flip this one. Keep the 1, change division to multiplication, flip the bottom fraction. And of course this one is waiting. So we may even want to put big brackets to say we've got to do that first. Of course 1 times anything is that same thing, so that doesn't matter. We won't need to keep that. So what we have? We have 1 minus x over negative x. Okay, so now we need a common denominator here. To subtract this from 1, these two have to have a common denominator. I can write the number 1 like this. I can multiply the top and the bottom by the common denominator, which is negative x. Check and see what I'm doing. Is this not 1? Any number divided by itself is 1. There's the 1. I rewrote it like that. I did that because now I have a common denominator. So that equals, distributing the negative, I have negative x minus 1 plus x all over negative x. Same denominator, there it is. Negative x minus 1 minus, that negative distributed made that plus. Okay, so what's negative x and positive x? Of course those two cancel out, leaving negative 1 over negative x, and negative divided by negative is a positive, and there's our final result. We have a simplified rational expression. This concludes section R.7, Rational Expressions.